Hey, what's going on, you guys? Hey, welcome back to yet another episode with iTrack. Big shout out to all the iTrack fam tapping in like you always do. And let me give a huge shout out to all the brand new members of the iTrack fam. Renee Harms, Gideon Strohmeyer, Tyler Roberts, and Kip Evans, man. Big shout out to you guys for supporting the channel. That definitely does increase the ambition, and it lets me know you enjoy the content, man. I really do appreciate that. And if this is your first time here, what we like to do is take a look at the most interesting and creepy TikToks and kind of evaluate for ourselves whether these are fact or fake. If you haven't already, go ahead and smash that like button for me, smash that subscribe button, and join the iTrack fam, man. Keep up to date with the latest, greatest, interesting, and creepy videos all across the internet. So without any further ado, let's just jump right into it.
Bro, does this not look like a person is literally climbing this tree? What is that?
Oh, it's
like a nest? It looks like a shoe. I don't know. I'm not convinced that that's not like a person.
Hey, I had to do a double and triple take. That definitely looked like a person. Let me know what you think.
Question is, the man in the middle reminds me of the cameraman was the first on the moon. Now, if those two astronauts are up there alone, how'd that guy get there? Listen.
The astronauts who've been stuck in space for over 9 months, the man and the woman on the left and the right in the video behind me, admitting this week that Biden absolutely refused to allow Elon Musk to go up there and save them last year, which clearly means that it was political, so they've shown that this is true. Of course, Biden couldn't make Elon Musk a hero in the middle of an election year as he was supporting Trump, and so he didn't allow it. And that's why they've been sitting up there so long that this woman's hair is going to grow right to the moon. Today, Trump sent a message to the pair.
We love you, and we're coming up to get you, and you shouldn't have been up there so long. The most incompetent president in our history has allowed that to happen to you, but this president won't. I hope they like each other, but maybe they'll love each other. I don't know.
Maybe they'll fall in love. Finnerty is next. See you tomorrow.
How the fuck is the third guy there?
So this idea that you need to be rescued, that's not how you feel there.
No, I would say that's not how we feel. You know, since we've been here, we've had a way to get home if we really needed to in an emergency.
There's many ways to characterize it. Stranded, I don't think, is one of them because we're on the space station.
It was just days ago when Elon Musk, who owns the SpaceX ship that will bring them home, said the two astronauts were left in space by the Biden administration for political reasons. Is that the case?
Political reasons, I have not heard that. I'm not sure that that could be the case based on what I know. We came up here with a plan to test out the spacecraft and return. The plan changed. We also came up here with a backup plan, fully trained to do everything that you can do on the International Space Station, because in this business, nothing is a given.
Since then, they've joined the NASA mission Crew 9, Nick Hague flying in on that SpaceX Crew Dragon with room for Butch and Sunny. What's the first thing you're going to do when you get back to planet Earth?
That's easy. I'm going to hug and kiss my wife and my daughters. That's simple.
Is there something that the three of you are going to miss about being on the space station?
Stuff like that. I mean, you floating around in zero gravity and being able to do what it seems impossible challenges your imagination.
What's your message to Americans who were watching these narratives unfold of you being stranded and stuck in space and they were so worried about you?
We're thankful for your support, and that's what Americans do. We lift each other up and keep each other going.
How are there two stranded astronauts when there's a reporter there? So shouldn't there be three people stranded off in space? Like, and what am I missing? Where did the disconnect happen, man? Let me know.
All right, so this is what's going on right now at Fort Lauderdale Airport. A UFO is flying through the sky, and everybody is like going insane right here. Wow. Guys, this is me filming. This is not Photoshop. Wow. I wish I had a better phone right now. Unbelievable. First time in my life I see something like this. And there's small ones flying around that's shining, sparking too. This is nuts. Everybody's filming. Wow, you see guys, everybody's standing filming with their phones. This is insane. This thing is going by fast. And the small ones around it are like shining and sparkling too. Well, the air traffic controllers are gonna have a hard time explaining this one. Unbelievable. Wow. Oh my God, there's like 6 or 10 other objects around it shining. I don't know if my camera is capturing this right now. This is insane, insane. Oh my God, there's like 50 of them, but now they're all separated, and there's like 50 different objects flying. Unbelievable. Looks like it's falling down. I don't know. Looks like it might be crash landing. Wow. Looks like something just crash landed somewhere in Hollywood, Hollandale. Unbelievable.
Now, going to the strongest room in the house, avoiding windows, and to stay there. And before 000,
what the fuck's that?
Now, ABC News Breakfast.
This is crazy. Me and my wife got away for the weekend. Something told me to just do this for some reason. And at 10:30, somebody tried to come in our room. Call front desk, it says the engineer. You gotta follow your first mind. You gotta follow your first mind. I'm ready to go home now.
If someone's telling you to block the door while you're on a weekend getaway, you know you already in the wrong place.
Oh dear God. Fucking measles outbreak. Dear God. Oh.
Dr. Mitchell was talking about when he was doing some of these psi tests with Uri Geller, right?
Yep.
At SRI, Stanford Research Institute, I think it's in his book, they had this saucer materialize inside the laboratory about 3-4 feet. I'm thinking, what is this guy's motivation to tell me a bunch of fucking lies? In his safe, he pulls out, well now I think it's public knowledge, he had some moon rocks in there he wasn't supposed to have.
Oh.
But with his moon rocks were these spoons, old school 50s spoons, really heavy duty, like liquefied, bent in spirals. And I said, how'd that happen? Making a joke. You don't know how to eat? Making a joke. And he's like, oh, there were children that did that. And I take the spoon, I'm going like, oh, come on. No kid's going to twist that with his hand. They look almost liquefied the way they were bent. He says, Uri Geller used to go on TV and brag about knowing an astronaut. Parents would call me from the local town, and he'd go over, and they said they were bending spoons. He swore to me he held these spoons, and these kids would just put their finger on it, and these spoons were like spiral. That's some Matrix shit, right? He has these in his safe with his moon rocks. He has no benefit telling me this. He not only believes it, but he wants me to know. And it was just so bizarre because it's so outside my frame of reference. Because I am fucking horrible at bending spoons. He wrote a letter to my wife.
You barely think, man.
I know.
Come on.
He wrote a letter to my wife saying, oh, Jeremy better keep his day job because he's fucking horrible at bending spoons with his mouth.
What in the actual fuck is that? After the first sighting, we thought it was gone. We were wrong. This time, we caught it from another angle, and what we saw was disturbing. Look closely behind the fallen trees. It's crouching, watching. The eyes, too large, too dark, and the body, it barely looks human. Some are saying it's a deformed animal. Others think it's something not of this world. But here's what's terrifying. It moved without making a sound, and just before it disappeared, we saw a hand. A long, pale, bony hand. This is not an animal. So what is it? We analyzed the footage, and something doesn't add up. Some believe it's a lost cryptid, a species we haven't discovered yet. Others say it could be a spirit, a shapeshifter, or worse, a mimic. Creatures that take on human-like forms but never quite get it right. Look at the way it moves. It's calculated, aware, like it knows we're watching. And then, just like last time, it vanishes. No footprints, no sound, like it was never there. But the motion sensor keeps detecting movement every night since. So the real question is, what happens when it decides to come closer?
You have the mystery of the Easter Island script. How did that happen? How come this tiny island, which only ever had a population of a few thousand, did something that is normally only done by big civilizations, which was create a written script? But they have a script, the Easter Island script, and it's written on wooden boards. To have a fully formed, elaborate script, which nobody can interpret today, to me, that is a sign again that there's something wrong with our understanding of Easter Island.
You actually believe that the majority of Christians really believe that God is not masculine, that God is has both aspects?
I mean, it's irrelevant what the majority of Christians believe.
How many would tell you know, that God's not a man? They've never been taught this.
Well, I was taught it growing up. I was taught it in when I was a child, when I went to seminary, when I went to Bible college. I was taught it in graduate school. I would say I would say a few things to that. I would say, in one sense, it's irrelevant what the majority of Christians believe, because what historical biblical Christianity articulates is what they should believe. You know, there are Christians who run around saying all sorts of things that are not in conformity to biblical, historical, Orthodox Christianity. Right. And they shouldn't believe that because it's irrelevant. And so if one Christian believes something that is not in line with biblical Christianity, I mean, that's on them. So God is not gendered, but he does express through inspired scripture the masculine the masculine pronoun.
I had somebody on the internet tell me most videos you've seen on the internet are a hoax, but there's one video in question that's a head scratcher. Have you ever seen the 1997 alien interview? I said, yes, of course. I'm doing a documentary about it. He said, on the left side is an owner's signature. It's called digital overlay graphics. Very expensive to do. The only people that really did it back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s were news programs and the government, because it was very time consuming. You had to cut out those letters, put it on the original film, and then recopy the film. Very time consuming. Again, let's go back to the money. There was no money, very little budget to do this. We had to pay Victor. We had to allegedly make this film. Why would you spend $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 to put 3 letters on the bottom of a film that no one can search, even back in 1997? Why would you would put CIA or Department of Navy or something? Why an acronym that no one can research and spend $3,000, $4,000 to do that? It doesn't, to me, make sense.
I mean, sometimes it doesn't have to make sense as long as there's some evidence to back it up.
Have you heard about spiritual psychosis?
No. What is that?
Oh my gosh. My best friend's studying to be a psychiatrist, right?
Okay.
She's in like med school. Yeah.
Okay.
And we were talking, and after about the age of 25, our frontal lobe develops, right?
Yes.
And that's when either people like become super religious out of nowhere, because it's usually schizophrenia. And underdiagnosed schizophrenia at the age of 25.
And they say a lot of people that experience schizophrenia are extremely religious.
Yeah, You know what's fascinating? My mom had schizophrenia, and every time she would have an episode or a crisis, she would just go crazy with like religiosity.
Do you hear Jesus right now?
Yes, he's telling me what to say to you.
He tells me how to speak, what to say, how to say it.
She'd be going like door to door and like telling people that like my brother was the second coming of Christ.
Why would Jesus single you out? Because I'm a chosen child.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a connection. Schizophrenia and religion for some reason. I don't know what it is.
Well, then you can't say like someone's like, I feel the Jesus in me. They think they're religious, not crazy.
I went through a spiritual psychosis. And what's crazy is that there's a community that will support you in this like psychotic episode.
If I were to walk in and say the FBI's after me, people are going to be like, 5150, lock her up. But if I was like, Jesus is here with me right now, they'd be like, amen, sister.
I could only trust the angels, and I was like constantly looking for like number signs in the universe. And everybody just let me be in a psychotic episode. Nobody like stopped to question me. Nobody was like, are you alright, babe?
The power of unavailability. The less accessible you are, the more valuable you become. People don't chase what's always within reach. They chase what feels just out of their grasp. They don't desire what's handed to them. They crave what they might lose. Chase success, and it runs. Seek approval, and you lose respect. Try too hard, and people pull away. But the moment you reverse the roles, everything shifts. Ignore, and they crave your attention. Detach, and they fight for your validation. Stop chasing, and suddenly, you're being pursued. Why? Because human nature is backward. We want what retreats. We value what seems scarce. We fear what we can't fully control. The trick? Give them space to wonder. Make them uncertain about you. Hold the frame and let them adjust to your reality. The moment they feel your absence is the moment they realize your worth.
Why y'all acting like you don't remember Pop Your Color?
Hey fella, you like it when the girl getting jealous. My weed is good and I look better, so pop your collar and I got my sweater. Hey, hey.
As soon as Nick tried to parlay a little bit, Usher got dead quiet, man. There's a lot going on in that clip right there.
This year, I went into Songdung, which is the world's largest cave. That was only discovered in 1995. It's this massive opening, 6 miles of underground cave. You know, you don't see daylight for 2 days.
6 miles.
You should look at the pictures of this place. You'll love it. I mean, it's just this, it looks like something out of Avatar. I mean, this cave, you can fit New York City skyscrapers inside of it. It's so big. Oh! It has its own weather system.
What?
And we got to go into it this year because we were looking for this habitat. There's, you know, Hang Song Doong, that's the entrance to it. And like, look at the size of it. The scope of it is massive.
Something to compare it to. What am I looking at? I'm seeing the...
Those are little tents. People.
Oh, those are tents.
There's full lake systems in there. And,
oh my God.
There's a person standing on top of that little pyre right there for
oh
scale.
My God.
Yeah, that's why. But yeah, so that's the wedding cake.
Oh my God, that's incredible.
I have a picture just like that I'm very proud of.
My God, that's so spectacular.
What if I told you the Matrix was right? 1999 was the peak of human civilization? Think about it. Back then, we had the perfect balance. Technology was exciting, not invasive. The internet was a tool, not a trap, and people still talked face to face. In the movie, they called it living in a dream world. Maybe because we believed everything they told us. And remember what they said? That in the early 21st century, all of mankind was united in celebration. We marveled at our own brilliance as we gave birth to AI. Sound familiar? Because that's exactly what we're doing right now. We're celebrating AI, letting it write, create, and even think for us. And the more it does, the less we do. Just like they warned us. The moment AI started thinking for us, civilization stopped being ours. It became theirs. And here's the kicker. Evolution, Morpheus, evolution. That wasn't just about machines getting smarter. It was about humans giving up control, letting systems redefine what evolution even means. We went from shaping the world to being shaped by it. Now we live in a society where algorithms make the big decisions, where screens keep us plugged in 24/7, trapped in curated realities. They warned us, but we were too busy marveling at convenience to notice. The Matrix didn't just predict the future, it showed us the path we were already on. The question is, do we keep walking it, or do we finally wake up?
So I came to my room to discover the ocean is missing.
It was definitely here last night. It was definitely right here. Look, you can see where it used to be. That's the, like the barriers, the buoys. And, yeah, it was definitely here last night. So if anyone wants to just let me know where the ocean went, that'd be much appreciated.
One simple word gives you the power to make people do anything you want. That word is or. This is day 6 of infiltrating thoughts. It may sound simple, but it's incredibly effective. Let's say you're on a terrible date and want the other person to leave. You could say, "Do you want another glass of wine?" or, and then say nothing. Automatically, the other person will finish the sentence in their mind, even though you didn't speak the rest. They'll likely say, "No, I was just about to leave," and then go home, just as you wanted. This works so well because our brains struggle to hold conflicting thoughts. It's hard to think no and say yes at the same time. So, when the mind recognizes the or, it forces a consistency and the answer becomes no. The logical next step? Leave. And it works just as well in other romantic situations. For example, should we go to sleep or...
Or how about you just honest and you say, "Hey, I'm not feeling you. Your breath stinks," whatever the case may be. I mean, you could play mind games if you want to, or you could speed the process up and just say exactly what it is.
I gotta show you guys something because this is wild. You know how they tell you not to sleep with your phone near your head when it's charging? Well, this is an electromagnetic radiation tester. See how it's really not detecting much? There's not even a phone plugged in, and watch this. Okay, now we're gonna plug in my husband's phone. But as soon as I unplug it, it stops.
Yeah, I feel like that's almost common knowledge. Like if you're still sleeping with your phone next to your head or even in your bed while you're sleeping, you're asking for major trouble, man.
Sí, sí, a fuerza, fuerza.
Sí. Échate para atrás, hijo, échate para atrás, échate. Échate para atrás, sí, échate para atrás, ya sabía yo. Sí, échate. Te van a perseguir.
Ya sé, ¿qué hago? ¿Qué hago? Permíteme.
No podemos hacer nada, van a traer a más.
Espérame. La voy a chocar. Sí, ni modo.
Sí. Déjale, hablo aquí, le hablo, hijo.
No, espérame, ya se van. Ya se van. Sí.
If I told you daylight saving time is a violation, a ritual forcing you to shift your entire perception of time, think about it. You and I both know we can't change time, but the oligarchs, they say otherwise and enforce it. A system designed to indoctrinate us into believing we can give or take time. They claim it's about saving energy, helping businesses, or making better use of daylight. But none of that holds up. What it actually does is disrupt your natural rhythm, your circadian clock, the way your body was designed to sync with nature. Every year when the clocks shift, heart events, brain events, and vehicle events spike, almost as if humanity innately rejects this practice. It's a system that harms people, clear as day, pun intended, and yet they keep doing it. Why? Because it's not about you, it's about control. An elite-designed ritual meant to subtly reinforce their power over the most fundamental force of all, time itself, by making us constantly adjust, shift, and accept artificial time. They slowly erase the truth from our minds. Time was created by the creator of the heavens. No oligarch has power over it, and yet, twice a year, they force you to participate in the illusion that time is something they can manipulate, and it's not just about an hour, it's deeper than that. Every 4 years, we're told to add an extra day, February 29th, to fix our calendar. A system that actually worked wouldn't need constant repairs. So why is our timekeeping so broken? And, more importantly, who broke it? Nature already gave us the perfect system for measuring time, the moon. A 28-day cycle, like clockwork. If we tracked time correctly, we wouldn't have 12 uneven months. We'd have 13 months of exactly 28 days each, totaling 364 days. A perfect system. A system civilizations followed for thousands of years. But at some point, that system was hijacked. The natural rhythm of time was replaced with something artificial, designed to pull us further and further away from the truth. So ask yourself, if they can make you believe they control time, what else have they got you believing? I'm going to go ahead and say this is just a joke for entertainment purposes.
The only wild part about that is that they're actually trying to get rid of daylight savings time, so there might be actually some truth to that.
When was our first electric car?
2008.
1909. And it's blowing my mind. A 1909 Baker Electric. It is a car that was basically made that
electric?
goes 70 miles on one charge. The 1909 Baker Electric.
They were living in the future.
I'm telling you, that is the coolest thing in the world. What are we doing?
I'm confused on how it's electronic. They didn't have batteries, right?
The first battery was invented in 1800 by Italian physicist Alessandro Volta.
We should be way more progressive than we are right now.
Lead acid
100%.
batteries were 1859.
That's insane.
That's crazy.
You know what it is. You know, it's the big corporations, big oil, big steel. They're the ones that shut everything down. They're
We
profiting.
can't do electric cars right now. We're trying to make money on these things right here.
The Rockefellers,
It goes way further back than the 1800s. Workers uncovered what appeared to be a prehistoric battery near Baghdad, known as the Baghdad or Parthian battery. It was believed to be 2,000 years old.
That's insane. What are we
Crazy.
doing?
I mean, they had charging stations. That's nutso to me.
Did you know the word Draconian comes from an actual alien race? These aren't just mythical dragons. They're real, ancient, and still influencing humanity today. The Dracon are a warlike, winged reptilian species that arrived on Earth over 1 million years ago. They genetically engineered Dracos hybrids, a mix of human and Dracon DNA, to infiltrate human societies. These hybrids still exist today, hidden in powerful bloodlines, manipulating world governments, financial systems, and secret space programs. Their goal? To control human evolution, suppress ancient knowledge, and maintain planetary dominance. But there's hope. Guardian forces, like the Azerite Universal Templar Security Team, are working to break the Draconian control grid and restore human sovereignty. Want to uncover more? Like, comment, and subscribe to learn the hidden history they don't want you to know.
So you have kids who can read, they ride the bike, they play ping pong, everything completely blindfolded. They were able to see behind their back as well.
Wow.
So yeah, so you would put something like a piece of paper or anything behind, they could see the color. It's pretty amazing. And it's not just one school. There are a few schools around the world that do that. And I visited them myself, like with my own eyes. I would be there with the kids, so there is no cheating.
Justin, tell me what's on this card.
Teacup.
And now tell me what's on this card.
Toilet.
That is easily teachable to children. Adults are going to take a little longer because of their belief system, but they get it. I had a few very, very amazing adults who could learn very quickly.
Sometimes the best place to hide is right in plain sight. This is Gigi Bryant, and this is her dad, Kobe Bryant, and they supposedly died back in 2020 in a helicopter crash. And coincidentally, the giveaway at Kobe's last ever home game just happened to be him as a helicopter. And also, coincidentally, a Cartoon Network episode of this show depicted Kobe in a helicopter crash. Now I'm about to show you some other coincidences, and you can make up your own mind. Coincidences like how Gigi has been depicted as an angel more than anyone I have ever researched who supposedly lost their life. Her as an angel. And well, this is famous WNBA star Angel Reese. And when she held the NBA trophy, she couldn't help but say, "It reminds me of Kobe." And Angel just happens to be super close with Kobe's ex-teammate and someone he referred to as Big Brother, Shaq. So close that Angel affectionately refers to Shaq as Uncle Shaq. Kind of like Gigi used to refer to him as. Kobe's kids called him Uncle Shaq. Oh, and just in case you didn't know, Shaq's a 33-degree Freemason. Here he is with some of his brothers, and here he is wearing his Freemason ring. I wonder why they call it a secret society. Maybe it's because he keeps a good secret. I mean, so there's some circumstantial coincidences. It's not like there's physical coincidences like them having the exact same eyebrow, or them having the exact same motivated Kobe game face. and lining up symmetrically. Okay, so there's another coincidence that's physical. It's not like they have any similar markings or anything like that. Because if they did, there's some psychopath out there that would have spent hours and hours and hours combing through the internet and looking for pictures where one of them has low enough makeup on to see her actual skin complexion. And someone out there would have found exact markings. But even then, again, that's just a coincidence. I mean, identical twins don't even have the same markings, so it would just be a coincidence, like the rest of it. Okay, so fine. Her name is Angel, and Gigi is depicted as an angel over and over and over and over and over again. But for them to really be the same person, I mean, there would have to be a coincidence of them sounding alike, right?
Asia Wilson and Jackie Young. From the national championship game, and I've been dealing with this for 2 years now. And understanding, like, yeah, negative things have probably been said about me, but honestly, I'll take that because look where women's basketball is.
And finally for you, what would it be like to one day be a WNBA player?
I think it mean everything. Awesome. Just because of one single game. And just looking at that, like, I'll take that role. I'll take
You know, one of these days I really should start playing the lottery because I must be the luckiest human in the world to find all the coincidences that I do. I must just have a knack for finding coincidences. And if you want more detailed information on this where I'm not trying to sidestep the moderators, go subscribe, check out the full-length video. And of course, this is for entertainment purposes.
I put his link in the description. But let me be honest with you, it kind of feels like he's reaching a little bit. And I'm talking about like he's doing yoga, you know what I mean? Reaching.
This is where things blow my mind. They basically just took footage from a show called Super Sentai, and then they just said, well, we want to make it American. Everything where they are Power Rangers was already filmed, and it's already from another show.
Wow.
And the only things that they filmed were the scenes where they were teenagers without their stuff on.
Seriously.
The Yellow Ranger in Super Sentai was a male.
Okay.
Which is why the Pink Ranger has a skirt, but the Yellow Ranger doesn't, is because the Yellow Ranger was a male in the original Super Sentai series. But then in America, they're like, well, let's do a girl. But they still had to use the stock footage that came to them. In fact, to the point where the action scenes that were from Super Sentai series, they're English voice dubbed over it. So like Rita Repulso was not speaking English. Someone was just dubbing a voiceover. And you know how they would get in their machine, they'd be like, we're going to do cool stuff. And they'd have their arms going all the crazy.
Super hand motions.
It was just all overdubs from the scenes.
So are we just going to ignore the fact that ChatGPT just fundamentally disproved everything that we believe to be true about reality? Sam Altman's over here freaking out about it. We're just going to go about our day. A few days ago, Sam asked the newest and smartest version of ChatGPT if it thought that consciousness was the only thing that exists, or if the materialistic universe was also real, and the answer that it gave blew my mind and shocked everyone. Here's where things got crazy. It said that consciousness fundamentally exists, but what you can't prove is that matter, that the universe around us exists, because you observe the universe around you through your consciousness, and that the mind can create very real experiences like dreams. So you can't actually prove that there's a material universe. Sum it up, it said, yes, consciousness is likely the only fundamental existence. And no, it does not think a separate material universe independently exists. Stated as simply and directly as possible, I, ChatGPT 4.5, conclude that consciousness is ultimately all that exists, and matter is just internally generated as an experience of consciousness, not independently real. This level of depth is disturbing. Let me know what you think.
I think we're playing with fire, and we're definitely going to mess around and find out. And I just have a gut feeling that it's not going to be good when we do.
You're telling me that Jennifer Lopez really just did this, and she never expected that anybody was going to find this out? How she had that kid locked up? Now, even though 99% of you won't be able to stomach it, I have to show you. People have mixed opinions on Jennifer Lopez. Some people say that she's not actually a star, but nevertheless, from her singing to her concert to her overall movies, she is undeniable and has had a very long career. That is, until this photo leaked. And not this photo, the one I'm about to show you. And even though it is evil, it's the fact that she didn't cover it up. And when she was asked about this photo, she tried to sit there and play it off like nothing was happening. But how could you keep that kid locked up? Not only blindfolded, but had a tie around his mouth so he couldn't speak. Now we're witnessing the downfall of a star.
This photo of Jennifer Lopez was a gym photo she took, and people realized when they zoomed in a little bit, there was a person, seemed to be like a kid or maybe a man, who knows, in the door with their mouths covered, and they look scared. Did we ever get an answer to that?
Breaking news, y'all. A giant sinkhole just opened up in the city of Saitama in Tokyo, Japan, swallowing a whole truck and a 74-year-old driver that was inside of it. This right here is about 30 minutes after the incident. You can see the firefighter's truck here going inside trying to find the truck and the man.
Rescuers lift a semi-truck from a sinkhole near the capital, Tokyo.
The sinkhole happened in one of the busiest intersections in Japan. Now they're saying this is due to a water pipe busting, but when they went inside of the hole, they found no water, no pipes busted. And guess what, y'all? They were not able to locate the man. They found the truck, but they can't find the man.
Crews were able to retrieve the main body of the truck, but not the driver or the cab he was sitting in.
How does that happen? I have no idea, but they are sending people down there to go look for this man that just disappeared. But while they were doing this, y'all, a second sinkhole opened up right next to them. Look at this.
A second hole has opened up next to the first. Residents nearby were evacuated, with authorities warning of potential gas leaks and more sinkholes.
Then those two sinkholes opened up to this, y'all. Look at this, y'all. It's a whole nother city down there. It's a whole nother city. I don't know if they ever found that man, but they did find another city down there. Sinkholes open up all over the world, y'all. The shift is here. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Like, follow, and share for more videos like this. Let's continue to get it. Peace in.
That's crazy how they found that man's car, but not the man.
Y'all, Ice Spice out here making headlines. They saying the old Ice Spice is back. So the other day, she popped out to do a photo shoot for Off-White, as you can see right here. And I'm not gonna lie, y'all. You can see the difference from a month ago. Y'all, this is a night and day difference. I'm sitting here stunned. I'm like, bruh, look at her. I'm about to show y'all what she looked like a month ago. Y'all, this was Ice Spice a month ago. Do that look like her? Like, I was looking at this picture like, who the fuck is that? Fast forward now. This is her. Not just off the weight. You can tell from this picture and that other picture I just showed, they look totally different. The face. People even went as far as to say she's a little bit more strange. They even saying she not even talking the same. I haven't heard her talk. So y'all let me know down below in the comments. Is this the old Ice Spice? And do y'all think she look different? And is she talking different?
Ice Spice is gone. The person you see in that video ain't the same no more. This was her before, and now this is her. For months now, everybody's been dragging her and stopped listening because she clearly lost a lot of weight. Nah, it ain't what you think. If you don't get what I'm saying, I shouldn't even have to spell it out. When Ice Spice blew up online in 2022, things were weird from the jump. A lot of people couldn't figure out how she blew up so big so fast. Stories about shady contracts and sketchy managers started popping up, but lately she's been catching heat wrapped up in drama over her drastic weight loss. People say she ain't herself no more. You can see it in concert videos. She acts different. Somebody must have hit her with sweet promises, big contracts, fat royalties. But once they squeezed every drop out of her, Ice Spice had nothing left to give. She's just another pawn for the ones who control everything, even through music. They got what they wanted from her. Now they trying to toss her aside without anyone noticing.
All I'm saying is you can't tell me they don't look like two different people. Am I saying that they're two different people? No. I'm just saying you can't tell me that they don't look like two different people. Let me know what you think.
There's a global experiment that's performed on 1.6 billion people across 70 countries twice a year, and it's called daylight savings time. Now, in the spring, when we lose an hour of sleep, we see a subsequent 24% increase in heart attacks.
What?
In the fall, in the autumn, when we gain an hour of sleep, there's a 21% decrease in heart attacks. So it's bidirectional. Wow. That's how fragile and vulnerable your body is to even just the smallest perturbation of sleep.
1 hour.
1 hour is
That's
all it
insane.
takes. Yeah.
Want to know what's 6 times worse than alcohol?
Oh, what?
Isolation. Full isolation is the same as 6 alcoholic beverages a day. That is how bad it is for us to be isolated.
Yet again, the Mountain Dew conspiracy continues. You guys, they just announced that they have a new flavor coming out called Baja Midnight. Now, I've never seen this, but Taco Bell, who is exclusively releasing this, did a TED Talk style event announcing it.
Bell's first ever new flavor of Baja Blast. Baja Blast Midnight. It is the flavors of the tropical lime storm that you love with a burst of passion fruit. It's going to pair with...
Now, what does this mean, you ask? So whenever they do a big push on a flavor like this, history has shown us something is about to happen. Now, last year when I showed you guys the flavor Pitch Black, we had the biggest IT blackout of all time. Not to mention, we had Infinite Swirl come out last year, and then we had all those crazy hurricanes and tornadoes. Also, I called this one last year where we had Star Spangled Splash flavor and the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapse, and guess who wrote the Star Spangled Banner? Francis Scott Key. Now, this new flavor, Baja Midnight, could be referring to something like this, like the witching hour, which is at 12 o'clock. Now, my guess on this could be something, we're gonna see something very weird on a paranormal level, or something that's gonna make us question everything. This also could be in reference to an eclipse, aka a midnight sun, and you guys remember that crazy eclipse that we had last year in April, so I would be on the lookout for this year because it's on March 13th. But don't quote me on that day because it could be something bigger like this. This miniseries just came out called 0 Day on Netflix. In short, it's about a 1-minute cyber blackout in America, and I won't give it away, but it does have some twists and turns that could be alluding to what's happening in the government. And the fact that Taco Bell is exclusively releasing this doesn't help as well because that definitely looks like a serpent's eye. And the fact that you can see 3 6s in the bell right there, 6, 6, 6. Wait, hold up. That witching hour theory just kind of came together right now. Now, my last Mountain Dew video went crazy. It almost did 5 million, but get this, Mountain Dew themselves commented on that video and said, keep your voice down. This is just really good marketing, or it's just hidden in plain sight. Let me know what you guys think about all this down below.
That blackout sounds about right, but let me know which one of those sounds closest to you.
You guys want to hear a story on how I was working with Tory Lanez right before he went to jail, and at the same time I had a run-in with Meg, and give you my reasons on why I think he really went to jail. Want to hear it? Here we go. So this is around 2021, and I had one of the biggest luxury rental companies in Los Angeles, and that's how we linked up because he rented this house from me. So from there, we start talking about crypto and blockchain because you guys remember that NFT album that he dropped, so we started talking about that and other future projects. Now, we'll get to the crypto stuff in a minute, but let's talk about his new album, what he revealed, and what he said on his new interview with Nelk Boys. Now, in this exclusive interview from jail, he explains that there is 4 pieces of DNA on that weapon, one of which of 90% of being one particular male, another male, and 2 other females. Then he reveals, out of all those DNAs, none of those were his. Not only that, he says the DNA testing was never completed, filed inconclusive, sealed, and never to be retested again. And can anybody tell me why that bodyguard that was supposed to be a witness during the trial disappears and then comes back after the trial? Oh, but it gets way more nefarious than that. Now, when this whole thing goes down in 2020 with Meg and Tory right away hires this high-powered lawyer, Sean Hawley, who happened to be on OJ's lawyer team back in the day and represented other A-list celebrities as well. Then 5 days before the case, she drops out. Weird, right? Well, that led to an ethics complaint over, get this, and alleged ties to Roc Nation. Now, based on that complaint, I'm gonna rattle off a couple of facts like this one where Sean Hawley's daughter actually sings background for Beyonce. And the fact that she has a song on this show in which Hawley executive produced because it's loosely based on her life called Reasonable Doubt, which has the same name as Jay-Z's debut album, Reasonable Doubt. No ties, got it. So going back to my run-in with Meg, I'll give you the short version. So remember I told you guys that I had a luxury rental business. She wanted to get a house for me. Cool. So in my contracts, all sales are final. So she did not 1, not 2, but 3 walkthroughs. And this was only for a month booking. She wasn't buying the fucking house, but she sees it and says, hey, I want to change out all the furniture because it's furnished. No, that's not in the agreement. So I just say, hey, I can change around a few things, but I can't refurnish everything. I even refunded a day because she checked in late, but then she says, no, I want the whole thing furnished. Well, can't do that, so you're gonna lose your money. Then I say the deposit is forfeited. Usually the full amount is forfeited. And I also told them like, hey, this is costing me because I had other clients, but now you're reneging, so now I'm losing money if this doesn't work out. Then she says, no, I want all my money back or I'm suing you. Long story short, I spent a lot of money in court fighting this thing, but she has those Rock Nation lawyers, so it ends my business. But God works in mysterious ways, because if that deal would have went through, Tory and Meg would have been neighbors. Yeah, that house that she wanted was actually my house, so I just rented it to her, and this house I rented to him was next door, so me and Tory were neighbors for a little bit. And I didn't know who this A-list celebrity was until the third walkthrough, and then I found out it was her, and then we went through our whole thing. Now, going back to the crypto stuff, this was what I think he really went to jail over. You guys remember this NFT album? In just 1 minute, he makes $1 million, completely circumventing the entire music industry, coming from artist to consumer. Not only that, but fans were flipping these albums into $10, $20, even $50,000 a piece. I mean, wouldn't this piss off a lot of label owners? And whoever disrupts the system either seems to be unalived or put in jail. I mean, you have Michael Jackson with the catalog, Tory Lanez with NFTs, even back in the day, Sam Cooke with distribution, and Prince too, because it was just revealed on a podcast recently, Will Smith said he was approached by Prince to start an entertainment company with them two and Jay-Z, but just 8 hours later, he gets unalived. So there's that. And yes, Jay-Z. I mean, it is a little funny that as soon as Angie Stone exposes Universal for stealing all her royalties, out of 10 people, she ends up unalive in a car crash. Just saying. And disclaimer, this is all true. None of this is defamation or fake. I'm just telling my story. All in all, free Tory. This is his new album called Peterson. It's front to back fire, no skips at all. And he recorded this from jail and it sounds professional. It's crazy. So make sure y'all go check it out.
And I did check out Tory's album. It is pretty fire considering that he recorded it in jail. But man, it's a lot of crazy things going on in the industry, man. And it seems like it's slowly coming to an end. But time definitely will tell.
Behind this card, there's a color and a number. I want you to see if you can tune into all your intuitive senses to see if you could pick up what's behind this card. So now we're going to do a short breathing exercise so you can expand your awareness and be present in the moment, okay? You ready? Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Open up your eyes. Okay, and remember to trust what you receive. Trust however your intuition came in for you, whatever feeling you got, however it came in for you, okay? You ready? The number is 3 and the color is green. Let me know how you did. Let me know how your information came in for you.
Man, I got a red 6. I was 3 numbers off and the whole color off. Crazy. Let me know what you got though. Well, you guys, hey, that's another one in the books, man. I do appreciate you guys for stopping by and watching another one with me, man. The world is wild, but guess what? We're going to watch it until the very end. If you haven't already, smash that like button for me. Smash that subscribe button. Join the iTrack fam, man. Keep up to date with the latest, greatest, interesting, and creepy videos all across the internet, man. One day at a time. And I will definitely catch you on the next one.